Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again.
Speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available. This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're carrying on with some more work. So after last live stream I went on, I don't know when I did, after, maybe later on, yeah. And I got the AF again working nicely. And I found the problem because the cat control wasn't doing what I thought it was doing, so I didn't want to send a command to the radio and wait for one back before the variable would be set. So it looks like I changed it. I actually went ahead and asked Gemini to, and I asked ChatGPT. Don't know whether Gemini did it in the end or ChatGPT, combination of the two. Anyway, with my instruction I ended up with a two-way variable that I could set even if the radio didn't respond. So basically these variables are send and forget, like UDP, I don't care if it never gets them. So the initial setup with ChatGPT and Gemini put up the position that we're waiting for the, traditionally the way it does it, the radio responds back. You ask for something, the radio sends a signal back and then it performs it. But I didn't know that's what it did, so anyway, well, I've gone and changed it. I've made it two-way. And now the good thing is we can just set the variable so the UI will be exactly where you want it, and if the radio is not switched on, or if it doesn't, you know, if it's not on, if it's not even plugged in, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because this software, we're going to use it. You might use it without. You might use part of it without the rig. Yeah, you might use it for decoding audio or something like that. Let's just welcome somebody else in. So here we go. Just welcome everybody in. So let's welcome Flava PHX. Welcome Flava PHX. Looks pretty real, to be honest. Cool design. To be honest, is that what it means? Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit different to the norm. I'm not a fan of Windows forms. They're very functional, and you can put crude sliders and things in there, but the radio is a beautiful radio, so beautiful looking radio, so you can keep the graphics looking the same if we can, you know, and introduce some nice features from a more modern radio as much as possible into the software. So what's missing from the radio? I've got a lot to do on this. It's a great subject. It's a fantastic hobby. Oh, isn't it? So anyway, it's interesting as well. It is interesting. So yeah, so this protocol, the AI are swaying towards a way of doing it now. I had to drag its kicking and screaming to do it the way I wanted to do it, because obviously it's, I don't know what it is, but it's just trying to do it a certain way, and I've still got more to do on it yet, but I was happy with the result at the end of the evening last night. By not the end of the evening of the video, but the end of the evening with me trying to get past this issue. So because I had to drag it kicking and screaming, and multiple, it was trying to push me the other way, and I said no, this is what I'm trying to do. Anyway, it's working now, so I've got to, today we're going to do the RF gain and maybe tidy up the AF gain, and that'll be okay. Make sure we got the clicks going, possibly put the click on the over here as well. So I want to click, we've already got a click on that one, and I want to get the VFOs working. So, and I also want to introduce at the minute, if any of the data is corrupt, it wants to push an exemption at you. You know, so basically the program will stop. So I'm going to change there's parse functions there. I'm going to change it, or we're going to change it all to try parse. So if anything wants to be, any value hits this cat command that needs to be a variable, if anything hits it and it's not right, it needs to default to something, a standard rate. Say if it's a volume control, for instance, if somebody says set the volume 0, which is off, or set the volume 255, which is max. So if somebody says that, you know, if I'm sending the command and it suddenly gets corrupted, if it sees anything else that's not quite right, it'll dump it and put a default value in, which is a medium value, or one that, you know, I want to send the command through to the UI, and it sends it off to the radio as a cat command, but I don't really care if it doesn't ever see it. You know, it's going to miss the odd few. Maybe if we're pushing the speed, it's going to miss the odd few. I haven't tried to push it too far. I could push it more actually, but it's because we've got state machines sending and transmitting commands back and forth. Now, state machine is just the function of the display. They're all the radio function that you're in at the minute. Like if I'm in this mode here, we want to send all the commands for looking after this. If I'm in a different view, if I'm in a filter view or a decoder view for Morse code, I don't really need to interact with the radio too much at all, other than keep track of the mode, the frequency, that kind of stuff, just the usual stuff here, signal strength, and that's it really. You know, a few other bits and pieces. So what I'd also like to do is give the command a priority. So if it absolutely must get through, it's got to treat it as I do need a response back. You know, I do actually want a response back. Anyway, we've got another comment. Flavor PX says it's really thinking out of the box, to be honest. I haven't seen many people do something like this. I guess maybe in the early 2000s apps were more creative like this. Good times. Yeah, you're right. Now I got a history of this because I actually created back in 1995 a Visual Basic 4, starting with 4 and 6. I wanted to create some software. I've done it a few times actually, but when I did a database for a company, It was a purchase. It was called Paros, actually, Paros, named after a Greek island, and installed it for a company. And it's an acronym. It stood for Purchase and Requisition Ordering System. Okay, or operating system, ordering system, basically. The company was what were they doing? They were passing around a purchase order, a little handwritten order that would have to go from building to building, and it would often get lost or sit in somebody's in tray. So basically turned that into, I forgot about this program, it's been a while ago. I turned it into a multi-user system, basically. Log-on software, central database, Microsoft database. It was MDB. Bit crap compared to today's standards, but the database. But to be fair, they keeps on going. Those databases do. They keep on trundling on. Anyway, the basically going back to the software front end for that, I added some. I didn't want it to look like some drab form, you know. As I used to see a lot of people, they give the job to someone. They say, this is in the past. I'm talking about 25, 30 years ago, probably 1995. Anyway, what happens is there's not enough people who knew anything about the programming, so they give it to a company. They hire them in. They say, make me this software that does this certain thing, and they just do it uncreative. They just do it functional. Once it's functional, it might not have a fantastic UI. It might look drab and horrible, but it'll do the job, and that's what they're getting paid for. So then, anyway, so they hand over the software. Because the client pays the bill, and then they go off and do some other project somewhere else. They don't directly work for them. So then the company who's got the software, they have to live with what they've got, basically. And they're all using this software that looks drab, but it's functional, so they keep on going with it. I even back in them days, I could probably bring it up on the screen. I put a logo in there, an animated GIF, I think, logo, and made the fonts 3D. I know it's not in today's standard, but I made everything 3D, and buttons and all sorts of stuff. I tried to make it look nice, and I carried the regime on throughout. So going back to them days, I've always done this, but yeah, I mean, functionality, you can have a full-size screen on a form with all the controls. I could give you a notepad type of thing, notepad. Even notepads, they've changed it now, haven't they? So I could basically give you this, and I could have a little font here with a frequency on it, and you could have a slider, a big slider, and you could have every function that your radio does in this window here, all accessible, totally usable, right? And then somehow you become detached from the actual radio. Yeah, so I'd rather, then you'd probably think, well, it's great, but I'll use the radio instead. But with this idea, you're not thinking that, oh, well, this is great, but I'd rather go back to the radio. Now, don't get me wrong, the radio is great for going portable, brilliant, and you can reach up here and adjust it. It's great, it's fantastic. But if you can do it down here and get more functionality down here, I'm trying to click on this. This is just the thumbnail, but you can do everything down here. then you won't need to go up to your radio. And well, in theory, I could take the front off. I could unclip the front. I don't know if it'll boot up without the front on. In theory, it should just boot up. Obviously, you've got to power it on, but you can power it on with a cat command. So that's what we've got to do. Yeah, you can actually power it on with a cat and power it off with a cat command. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be looking at I'm going to be looking at this all the time. So I've got a lot to do. This shouldn't be on this screen. This is on the station scope. Anyway, so I've already gone ahead and done some extra stuff here to make it more usable. It's kept out of the way of the main buttons and the main display. So you got the best of both worlds. You got the good looking radio, keep the shape and everything else. Then you've got some extra stuff. So we're not just initially I was just going to reproduce it exactly, but I thought, well, I've got an FT710. It's more modern SDR radio. It's got the menu system. So let's quote unquote not copy it, mimic it, reverse engineer it, whatever. Not really, just do something similar. Yeah. Anyway, it turns out okay. It turns out okay. So welcome to the stream. Anyway, I don't think I've seen you before, but yeah. Let's bring up the main program because we're looking at just the thumbnail at the minute. I'll give you an overview of it. So I'm just going to collapse the thumbnail and actually just run the executable. So this is the executable actually running at the minute. I'm going to switch over to the normal display. I'm actually going to just bring down the RF gate. I've got the AF gain and the RF gain there. So I've got two-way cat. Now I haven't fully tested it yet because it was late last night and it seemed to do the trick. Now I can do things like mute the AF, raise it with a mouse wheel, and you can drag. So hold the left button down, drag, and you can click to mute it and unmute it. I found someone there. So it's the first time I've found someone, and I'm going to turn the volume up. Ready? So that's working. So the RF gain we've got to get going today. So that's got the drag on it. It goes blurred to indicate motion. So does this. So then you can mute it. So we'll have a click on there as well. That's currently doing the same as the function at the minute. So anyway, we've got a little bit to get on with. Yeah, so let's get on with it. I've got to line this up. This is starting to bug me a bit. So I was trying to line this. It does taper off this way down because it was created from a photo and an AI came up with it from a photo I provided. So it textured it and got rid of a few things. It started hallucinating and changing buttons and stuff. So anyway, so let's tidy up the AF function from yesterday. Let's get the RF function going, and then we're going to do the swapping of A and B, which is not working yet. Because anyway, well, I will show you what it does so far. So we can put a scope on it. Let's get the volume unmuted and you can every 15 minutes it'll do that. You turn it off and you can do it yourself. So what I need to introduce is a click on there to get to that frequency, so that's got to be sorted out. Or you can go over to a scan. Okay, yeah, no problem. Well, anyway, yeah, so you go down the list. Add them to that list. So, he's in there somewhere, not quite on the frequency. So I've got to add the ability to tune him in. .166. So I haven't actually got a 166. He wasn't talking at the time. So when I click this here, it needs to add it to this list if I'm in this mode. So I take it from here, adjust it and add it to the list. Got to sort that out. Someone asked me today on a message, asked me a question which needs addressing. Will this work if your radio has been widebanded, they asked. And the short answer is yes, but the long answer is, well, should it? You might have to base it on whether they've got a licensed ham operator. So you might have to restrict who can get access to this, because potentially in the wrong hands could be a problem. Anyway, so you click on that and you can go back to the main screen.
И просто непонятно, что это было вообще, потому что получается, что на сотрудничество с Китаем мы получили банкротство отрасли, а Китай, наоборот, отрасль свою развил. Это какие-то личные, что ли, у Путина там сантименты, мысли, вообще все равно, или все-таки Китай что-то ему дает, за что он годится с нашей промышленностью? Илья, давайте по лесопромышленному комплексу отдельный немножко разговор, потому что у нас лесопромышленные предприятия, они где расположены? На севере страны, Архангельская область, Республика Корея.
Yes, I need to alter the level. We haven't done yet, so bring this up.
Куда они направляли свой экспорт раньше?
Anyway, right, let's crack on with the RF game then.
Им удобнее было это отправлять в Европу.
Let's have a scan first on 40 meters. Not sure it found anything. It did, was a bit weak. Signal strength probably a 2. Right, let's have another. Let's just have a quick. Let's go on 80 metres. That's not finding any. You can alter the threshold. Start again. So, yeah, it's not too good this area on 80 metres. Let's just go down another segment. So if it gets over 4 threshold signal strength, it'll add it to the list. Right, so let's go down. Oh, there's not much here. Right, okay, so I could try the decoder. Let's go on to, actually, let's just choose a band. Let's choose a band. Let's go on here. Let's, I can't alter the, yeah, it automatically sets the RF gain up so it stops the noise. Let's find some Morse code. I'm just spinning the mouse wheel there. I'll try a bit of Morse code decoding. Right, so we'll go over to this one. We'll select CW. And we'll go down to it's probably took it off. It's gone quiet. Or is it, do we need, hang on. I think it's lower one. Oh, it might be upper one. I don't know. I think it's lower. Right, let's see if we can decode it. A lot of noise. Lots of noise. Let's find someone else. I'll tell you what, let's try and scan. Scan for some, hang on. Probably 10k, isn't it? Nope. Yeah, so, and you can also use the radio dial if you want. I was not sure where they are. Oh, it's not liking that, is it? Sounds like he's on 7.5. Right. Let's find someone else stronger. It's very noisy for CW. I think that's a noise blanker. I think I need to set the narrow band on it. Right, let's oh, that's better, that's better. One comment. President Jackson Lincoln Kenwood. Huh? Right, I have no idea what that means, but welcome anyway. Let's welcome everyone. One one comet. Welcome to the stream. Said we'd welcome everyone. It's a Yaesu FT891S. S for software. Trying to find a bit of Morse. See if we can decode it. Not finding much at the minute. Let's go back up again. Oh, let's do the fast. Hold on. Fast. Ah, it's just died into the depth. Start. Oh, as soon as I move, it starts again. I don't know if it's picking anything up or not. What I need is a bit of a pickup of the I think it's too low. A bit too low in the background. Let's find someone. I'm having to be quiet because it's doing it through the microphone. It's having a good go. It's just a bit too noisy. Let's try and find someone else. Bit of a stronger signal. It's a weird place to be, but it seems better there. It's just a bit too noisy. Shame. Can't hear anything. Okay, let's try a different band then. That's not the band. Right, let's go. Oh, do anything down there, maybe? Don't know. Yeah. That's just a bit too noisy. The reason it's not updating from the computer, I haven't told it to. Oh, we need to be narrow as well. Don't know if there's any more. Oh, here's a bit. Oh, there's a nice strong signal. Don't know the band for that. Right, what we're going to try. That aerial's not the best on there. Okay, let's go up another band. Don't know if you have to do upper or lower. Let's just turn that off a second. Not hearing anything up around there. No, not good. Oh, that didn't change. Hang on. Don't know where the band starts on this one. Anyway, we'll probably leave it there. We're not having much luck. Shame. Shame there's not a strong signal. Didn't actually change then. So, I've introduced a problem there. It's too low a signal. Right, let's knock that on the head. Knock that on the head for a little bit. Oh, welcome to the live stream. Let's just welcome another one. Turbo MT385. Welcome. So, just happened to see this. It looks like you're scanning for something. Yeah, I was just trying to decode some Morse code, but unfortunately the signals are too noisy and weak at the minute. So we'll knock that on the head. I better break that power down. Right, so we'll knock that on the head. Okay. Yeah, so we're just testing some software out. We're developing the software, but yeah, we're just testing a few things out before we start work on it again. Yeah, because we have to, every time we try and improve it, we have to break it, then recreate it, get it working again. And some of these modes, they're not all the way doing certain things. So anyway, I want to get the RF gain going, so I'm gonna just bring up the thumbnail for that and load up the program. So we're gonna open up the code for it, because we need to tidy up the AF and the audio. I don't know why they call it AF. Why don't they just call it the volume audio frequency, or call it volume. The volume control. What was wrong with volume control? Anyway, so let's get on with this. Yeah, so we give it a, sometimes I've done a live stream. Sometimes it decodes the, if it's a signal strong enough, it'll decode it. You can pick up Morse code from it. I mean, yeah, it's within the program. You can get programs that do all that anyway, but I'm trying to incorporate into the program. Right, so let's have a think where we got off last time. So what we want to do now is just check out this AF control. So I did get it working in the end, sort of, because I couldn't get it working at all. So that looks tidy enough there, and that's tidy enough there. So we're using the date time. Yeah, it looks okay there. Preview mouse up. Yeah, that's okay. That's working, so that can come out of there now. We don't need that command anymore. Let's tidy this up before we go on to it, because we're going to copy this into our, exactly as it is, into our RF gain. We don't need that no more. So we'll use this as a basis for the rest, so it should be very quick to set the RF gain. I think it's almost exactly the same kind of command structure. Okay, right, that'll do for that. So what I'm going to do now then is, I should have RF gain stuff, so probably the easiest way is just to, is it just to change it? Yeah, probably the easiest way is just to literally copy all the AF gain. Just wondering now. So we've got the RF gain stuff here. Now we will have to go around and change in the canvas back if we do that. But I'm not that bothered, so let's do it. Let's copy the whole of these four. Right, I think that was the last one. Let's just double check. No, that was an extra one. Yeah, this really gets a bit... right, so we've got that one there. Let's go down. Right, so we want to copy those. Very cool. It's got my nerd curiosity going. Oh yeah, yeah. This is fantastic. I did some work back in 88 to 92, 3, 4, trying to get a commercial Tate PMR radio to that came with 2 channels, make it have as many channels as the VFO could cope with, the variable frequency oscillator could cope with, without being adjusted. I think it ended up with about 500 channels out of it. And we took the signal, the busy LED light, through a transistor and set an RS-232 signal and watched for the signal within the program to tell it when a channel was busy, so we could scan and remember it. Anyway, that's going right all the way back to then, so this is similar to that, but technology's moved on since. So we've got to find now the, I'll tell you what we'll do. So there's the RF gain. I will just slip it in here like that. I'll leave a bit 2 spaces and put that in there. So we can then change AF preview mouse wheel. Got to make sure I don't alter the wrong one. Mouse wheel up, mouse move, and mouse down. Yeah, that's it. So I should be able to change a lot of this. I will have to go up from here and take this out of the system temporarily. No, that's more AF gain, so that's not the one. Right, here it is. Yeah, so let's just go up. So there's 4 things. That should be the last one. Yeah, so if I just go like this, come down to the last one where it says RF gain. Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna keep it but take it out of the system and try and rename this RF. Oops, RF. Can't do it. Can't get RF out of this at the minute. RF gain, yeah. So let's have a quick look at which ones they're adjusting. Right, it's number 3 timer. Right, I should have known that. So I've just got to change all this for 3 and 3 and Yeah, this is still on the function menu, so that's got to be taken out. Everything that says 4 change to 3, and change to RF. It's a bit long-winded, but it's the only way to do it without missing something. Right, that's going to come out of there anyway. Right, that one's done. Okay, so we need to change this to RF and RF. So in a minute we should be able to get a working RF. Not in a minute, it's going to take a little bit longer. So RF, I've got to make sure I don't change the wrong one. So that'll be 3. It's long-winded, but yeah. I've got my tea, dinner, supper, whatever you want to call it, yet, but I'll put it on hold for a bit. Just double check I haven't missed anything. It's very easy to lose your concentration. Okay, that's the same. Right, so now down to this one. Last knob update. Right, so that's going to have a different name. So I'm going to call that 3. Now that's only because I want to keep it tied in with the 3. So mouse down, last update time 3. Right, so RF, and it's easy to work it out. You can't be swapping all over the place from 3 to 2 to 4s. It's got to stay so you can remember it easy. Right, that's going to be 3. Last update time 3. Rotate, blur 3. There's animations and all sorts going on here, so if you don't do it in the right way, it will come up with an error. Last AF gain 100. Okay, just want to make sure I've still got that down here, because if I scroll down to the wrong one and edit the wrong one, yeah, we're okay. I am going to be in a whole world of hurt if I'm altering the wrong one. So AF gain, so let's say that's 3. Oh no, that can stay the same. It's only 1 AF gain, but that will need to be last RF gain. Yeah, RF gain. Date time, blur 3. I'm getting hungry now for some reason. Oh, we could listen to someone if you like. Tell you what, while we're doing this, let's turn the radio on, see if we can find anything, activity. It's a different radio. Let's leave it on there for a bit. Right, so this is changing the variable, but it needs to be RF gain. Okay, last RF gain. Oh dear, what a game. So that needs to be the cat command for RF gain. We're going to have to check that out in a bit. We'll leave it for now. Right, so let's set this the same. Last RF gain. Right, is that good? Is that good? It's okay at the minute. Let's change this. Okay, so I've got preview mouse wheel. Let's have a look. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it, yeah. Are you developing a GUI for a radio? Sorry, I will go watch your... Yeah, no problem. You can ask as many questions as you want. It's not a problem. Yeah, basically it is. It's a GUI from a software front end, GUI, app, whatever you want to call it, solution, a companion to an actual radio. But it will actually run without the radio as well. So that's yeah. So that's what we're doing at the minute. On this channel, we work on various projects. I've got a lot of videos, and a lot of series, and a lot of hours worth of work on each project. I go with whatever takes a fancy. So I've been and bought this little mobile radio, ham radio, for taking it on holiday. I thought I wanted to get into what they call CAT control, so computer aided transceiver. It's just a way of talking from your computer to the rig, the radio, with a USB, like a printer lead. On this occasion, you send it serial data, it answers you back if you're lucky. And you can send from the radio serial data to the software. The software then interprets that. So basically it's like keeping each end in sync with the other. So, and it extends the features it's supposed to. You can't do on the real radio the stuff I'm doing with it. You can do it, but not, not easy. Some of the stuff is a bit convoluted how to get to, and if all it needs is a laptop. Most people are going to take a laptop, or when they go portable, they're going to take a laptop, and they're going to, because they've got it, they might as well run the software and plug it into the radio to make their life a little bit easier. Going to introduce some advanced features into it at some point. Like, I don't know if these exist in other software. I really haven't looked. So I'm a returning ham from years ago, and on and off kept with it, but I didn't do any digital stuff apart from, having said that, we did some packet radio years ago, and we did some slow scan television, but none of the modern day digital stuff on the radio. So I thought, well, buy the radios that are capable of it, and I'll just use them the old way, and then slowly, after I've picked up what it is everyone was doing with their digital, because I've been out of the loop for a while, I'm slowly starting to get it now, and so starting now to have a play with the CAT control side of it. And because it's probably good that I didn't see other software and I'm new to it back again, because I might have just gone and downloaded someone's software and used that, and never never made this and never thought about making this or anything. But I do want to do some stuff that I don't know if it exists in other software. Like I want it to have the ability to click a button or ask it, even speak to it as well. Speak to it with the microphone, the software, and say whatever it's called. Cuts out. Suppose we call it Yasu. I'll go, Yasu, could you find me a clear channel, please, or give me a list of clear frequencies, and you could have criteria. And you could say, I want to be, I don't want any adjacent frequencies in use within a certain bandwidth. So I want you to find the absolute cleanest one. And basically the radio, you can carry on operating the radio as if you're scanning, if you're just listening, and you can decide on how aggressive its search is. The more aggressive, the less time that you can hear what channel you're on if you're listening. You could say, I'm actually listening, or it could sense it automatically and say, right, this is activity on here. I can tell there's activity from the signal strengths up and down. It's characteristic of QSO. So I will go and look for some frequencies, but I won't necessarily stop you listening. I will nip off very quickly and have a look around, and then come back, let you have some audio, nip off very quickly, sample another area, come back. So the most you'd hear is probably a tiny click, but I can get the AF or the RF gain to, say the AF gain, I can put it to 0 or lower it, so you don't even know you've not listening to the channel. It's gone off and fetched the data, and it's sampling. Basically, it's going around sampling, and it will then present you with a list. Or it could even be doing this by default. You could have a little switch on button software that please look for clear channels. Say if you're having you're in QSO mode or contest mode, well, you'd want to stay on the same channel if you can. But if something happens and you're suddenly getting inundated with noise, or even malicious users, I'm not saying there is any, but there's certain live streams that go on, and certain, I don't know if it's old school amateurs or people who aren't even licensed. I'd say that let's just say they're not licensed and they're illegal users, because an AM would not do this. It would not go and do jamming or playing music over somebody's QSO. So we'd have to say they're not real AM radio, or they're not licensed. It's part of the license is to, for your etiquette, you should, if they do it, they should have their equipment taken off them, really. So although there's many uses for it, but so we've got to be careful with the software as well. I suppose the at least requirement to confirm that the person is a licensed ham or on a training course or something. So that is a little bit of a problem, because they could, potentially it could be used to expand the capability, and then you could go off and do stuff with it. Maybe you can't trust that most people would do, non-malicious stuff with it. So you've got to be a little bit careful with it. Somebody asked me, said, does it still work if the radio's been wide banded? And I immediately think it would, but do you want it to do that? I don't want it to do that, because you don't, at least if if they're licensed or on a training course, they're learning what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So yeah, so there's got to be probably a mechanism to find out if they're licensed. So when it gets released, they might have to email. We might have to manually vet them to start with. I don't know, unless there's a library or something that can be used. Don't want to do digital restrictions management on it, but it's like anything, it gets into the wrong hands, you know. I don't know. Anyway, needs some further talking about with other people who create software for ham radios, see if they've had similar problem and issues. So I could build into it, you know, I could recognize frequencies and say, right, you won't be able to either not transmit at all out of band, or you transmit if it's I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing or even legal, but say if you went on to the CB frequency, it could recognize that and it could say, right, I'm going to reduce the watts down to 5 watts minimum it can do, and there's no way you can make it go higher, you know. I don't know what I don't follow CB. I don't know what the wattage is, and but I do know that some people use these for CB. So, well, radios in general, they wideband them, and some of them are amateurs and they do it properly, you know, and they stick to the rules and all the rest of it. So anyway, it bears some thinking about. So that kind of thing. So if they say, will it work if it's widebanded radio? Yes, it will at the minute. But when it's released, will it do it? That's a debate for another day. So unless people are using software out there with no restrictions, I don't know. Could do with talking to people who create such software. Maybe Stuart from Station Master, people like that, WJ, whatever, at JST. So I'm not familiar with it all, and there's lots of different software out there. So I don't know whether there are any restrictions, who can download it, who can install it. I mean, you can, if it's just going to ask for a call sign, you could basically put anything in there. You know, if you're not processing it right and checking some kind of database or online service. I used to develop software many years ago using VB for database management, and I'm interested in RF. Probably why YouTube pointed me your channel. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Now, I'd encourage people who are interested in RF radio to get on to do a ham radio course. Get on a course. Every village or area should have a ham radio course. Yes, should have. Yeah. If it's interesting, if you're interested in RF, I would have thought, you know, if people are interested, then they would be interested in radio by default. You know, by association, you'd be interested in it anyway. So, yeah, VB for data. Yeah, I used to use VB for database. Yeah, Visual Basic 4, Visual Basic 6. And did a very tiny bit of Visual Basic script, VB script, is it, for Excel and Word, tiny little bit, horrible implementation, but yeah. So they've gone away from that, going back I still do a little bit of VB6. We've got some software still needs updating from time to time. Very difficult now to update it because modern operating systems, 64-bit, some of these VB tools and OCXs and ActiveX controls they use a 16-bit installer which will not run on any modern stuff, not really. So it's a big problem when you're trying to edit old software, you know, on modern day stuff. To set it up and install it onto a modern day computer, it's not as plain sailing. The installers don't run anymore, basically. You've probably come across this yourself, I would have thought. Anyway, so that's gone a bit quiet. Let's get someone else on. Is there anyone around? Bit of noise. Right, so I'm going to turn that one off because it's quite noisy now up there. Tell you what, I'm going to leave that on there on a different aerial so it automatically blanks it out. You're porting Alpha VB code to new requires, yes. It used to go straight on. I mean, if you want to run XP or, you know, Windows XP, you'll be fine. And you can install whatever you want. As long as, probably, yeah, you'll be alright, I think. Yeah, so that, anyway, let's crack on with this. Yeah, you're right. So, it's between a rock and hard place, really, between digital restrictions management in a software to stop people abusing it. It's difficult. So, you've got to be careful, I would have thought. Right, so we've got the RF stuff going on here. So, we need to change the cat command to do the RF stuff. So here's the cat command. So I just need to check the manual in case I've got the information slightly wrong. So we're gonna go, so AF gain, it uses a fixed P1 parameter and that, and so that's the parameter there. So let's go to RF gain now. I just want to compare the two. Right, so RG RF gain. Ah, it's the same, isn't it? So that's lucky, it's exactly the same. Yeah, so we can just change it to RG. So we need to change these to RG. And I think that's it. Oh, there is another one. Apply input knob 3. Go to definition. Ah, we need to copy 4 into this one. So there's 4. Right, we didn't tidy this one up, so let's tidy that up slightly. So I need to copy that. Right, let's just copy that over top of this one. Right, so we're just going to have to copy it right over top of that one. Right, so then we just got to change these to RF gain. Apply inputs 3. Right, so we're on 3 again. And 3. Right, okay. That should be RF delta. Let's just make sure there's nothing referring to the, whenever you copy and paste something from something else, it's a recipe for a bug if you don't thoroughly check it. If you miss changing something, you are going to end up with unpredictable results. So, was it RG? Can't remember now. Was it RG? Let's have a look at this one. So, I forgot now. Hang on. So let's not lose level of concentration. Sure is they're using RF and it's RG. So that needs to be 3. I think it's RG, isn't it? Yeah. Gain or RF gain, yeah. RF. Yeah, we're okay. Everything looks okay. Right, so we'll save that and go back. So this is all exactly the same. Oh, notice something there. We've still got a 4 in there, so that should be a 3. That should be a 3, so we did find 1 extra. Could have caused a bit of a glitch. Okay, I think that's it, is it? Yeah, I think that's it. Right, okay. So, if that is it, let's just check whether the command's right. RG, yeah. Last AF gain, so there's a mistake, see that? RF gain. RF gain was okay, so we missed it there. Could have easily missed that. Right, okay, I think that is it. Yeah. Right, okay, so because it's the same command, it should just work out of the box. It's the same command structure, let's say. Right, let's run it up. Yeah, let's run it up. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first go at seeing if it'll do RF gain. I'm just going to switch over to this one. I'm going to turn the volume up a bit. Awesome. I'm just going to turn the RF gain down on the radio. I've got no aerial attached, so let's plug the aerial in. There we go, on the switcher. So the gain's fully off now. Let's just make sure this one still works, so I can use the scroll wheel to up and down the AF and drag. And I should be able to do the same with this one, scroll wheel. Yeah, so that's making the AF gain go up and down. Now that is jumping in steps of 10. Because the volume needed to be in steps of 10 because 1 was hardly any change, but with the RF it's slightly different, so that's why it's jumping. It's jumping. Yeah, we could do with a single one instead of, so we'll change that. So what about dragging? Yeah. And what about clicking? Will it turn it to all the way up? Yeah. Click again. Ah, that isn't going back to default. So it'll mute it but not come back. So we're missing a variable there. So the last RF gain, it's there. So when we're doing a bit of a check last RF gain is RF gain. So why would it not be working? There must be a reference to something else. So there's got to be something in here. Let's find all references, see how many times we're using it. Right, okay, that's it there. So I don't know what that is unless let's just check the cat command for it. Ah, that's the point. Yeah, maybe the cat command is is the old. Let's just have a look. So we got AF gain and RF gain. Okay, so that doesn't explain. Oh, unless, yeah, let's. So let's unmute that. Right, so we can't hear anything because the gain. Right, so I've got a bit of a problem there because I've gone full up because I couldn't hear it. But it was the AF, the RF. You've got two things that do almost the same thing. So that's the RF gain. Just if I switch it on here, you can see it. Yeah, so we need to make that do. Let's just silence it, innit? We need to make that do 1 at a time instead of 10. So we need to go have a look at the RF gain step. So there's a scroll wheel. So there's the AF gain, and it's doing something to. Don't know where it's doing. Let's try and identify where it's doing it by a step of 10. I'm not seeing it at the minute. No, I'm not seeing it. So when I do a mouse wheel. Oh, it's this formula here, I think. Oh, I don't know now. Don't know where it's doing it now. Somewhere there's it's setting the AF to 10. I can't remember where it was now because I've got AI involved and it just modified it when I told it what I wanted. 6.0. What's that all about? Let's go down to the. Right, so did I keep the original code? Yes. Let's have a look at that original code. There's the delta position Y, so that 6.0 is the bit that's doing it. Oh, .8. That was right, so no, that's something else. Here it is 6.0 again, so it's kept it. Now I may have modified this yeah, I may have copied this from the modified one. So what we'll do, we'll just go down and we'll alter that one and see what difference it makes. So there it is. So the delta, yeah, I'll tell you what, we'll put it in. Let's put it back into an AI and ask it what it's doing. Yeah, so this is basically what happens if you let AI take over your code, or modify, you paste it in and it modifies and gives it you back to cure something. It doesn't actually tell you what it's done, which is a shame. Alright, I'm just going to give it that. I'm not going to give it any context at all. It's a concise way of determining a scroll or zoom direction. It assigns a scale value to the variable delta. Here are the breakdown exactly what is happening. The delta condition checks a scroll event argument, usually from a mouse wheel or trackpad. I haven't checked my audio today actually, let me just check it. Happening. Hello, testing. The delta. That's fine. Right. If delta is positive, the user scrolled up or away from themselves. If the delta is negative, the user scrolled down towards themselves. The question mark 1:-1, the ternary operator. I need to learn more about that because it's like Alien. This is shorthand if-else statement. Right, okay, that's good. So question mark 1 something -1. Right. If the condition is true, positive scroll. If it returns a 1, it returns a 1. If the condition is false, negative scroll. Okay. Now the multiplier. The resulting 1 or -1 is then multiplied by 6. Ultimately, this assigns one of two values to delta. 6 if the user scrolled up. So we're scrolling by 6. The standard if-else equivalent. If you wrote this out, right, so we're going up 6 at a time. The RF control, shall we just change it to 1 and see what happens? Can it times by 1? It should be able to. We'll try it again now because I need a bit more control over the RF control. Right, so let's set the AF control there. Now we'll scroll the so I'm actually using the scroll wheel instead of this drag. That's weird, it's very hypersensitive. Right, so let's go and check. That's the preview mouse wheel. So we alter the mouse wheel. That didn't seem to be altering much. Dragon Symbiote 85850 is the progress on the API. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. We've seen Dragon before. Symbiote. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we've got some progress. I don't know how many pass you got. We did get some progress. So what I should have done is kept my previous code before I implemented. Actually, we can look at the tell you what I can do. I can look at this other control because we've already got a similar thing happening on the selector. Let's see what here's a selection. So that is a 6 still on the selection. Right, so I don't know where it's doing it. I haven't applied that to the selection, so it's. Let's try and work out where the multiplier. So it is the multiplier, but I was under the impression I hadn't changed this bit. Oh, I'm not going to find it there anyway, so what I'll do is we'll have a look at the output from it. Go back to the AF where we say it, change that just now. That's where we just changed it. We'll put that back. Right, so let's run it up and we'll turn off the send loop and we'll have a look in the diagnostics down here. So well, yeah, this is the UI. There's various stuff going on it. Yeah, so I'm going to turn off the send, and now this will be able to. When you see an error, it means the software sent it to the radio. When you see the error coming back, it means the radio's answered it. So I'm going to do. Alright, so I'm going to just mouse wheel over this, see what happens. RG10, so it's sending 10 to it. 20, so it's going up 10 at a time, isn't it? Each mouse click is 10 at a time. And going down 10 at a time. So, yeah, because that was back to how it was. Right, so what about dragging? Going up 10 at a time. Yeah, that's why we're jumping. So we need to go up one at a time. Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff, but trying to implement stuff slowly. There's a lot of work to do still. So I can't work out. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll paste this code to AI and we'll ask it. I'll say I got you to modify this code to jump 10 at a time. But I now need to know what you did so I can bring it back to 1 at a time. Right, let's just do that. Could I submit new code? I asked in the past to make the delta value jump 10 at a time. Now I need to know what you did so I can change change some of the controls back to 1 or even 2. Right, here's the code, go for it. To control the speed or step size of your knob, you need to adjust 2 specific lines of code. Your snippet 1 of the mouse wheel and the one for the mouse move dragging. Here is exactly what was done to scale the data and how you can change them to jump by 1 and 2. The mouse wheel control inside your mouse wheel method. Step size is controlled by a multiplier at the end of the line. Right, okay, well that's what I did. I changed it and it didn't seem to make much difference. How to change it? To change it back to 1 multiplied by 1. Well, I tried that. To change it to the dragging mouse move. Inside your RF gain method, the dragging sensitive is calculated by multiplying the physical mouse movement delta by a modifier. The delta is multiplied by 0.5. It cuts the movement speed in half. If you previously changed this to make it jump by 10, you may have increased that multiplier. Right, no. How to change it? To make it more subtle, closer to 1 or 2 units, keep it low between and 1. If you want exact increments, you can also round the final. Right. So it's saying the delta, double. Controlled delta, right, okay. Let's find that then. Control delta, has it got a value on it? I'm not seeing it. Where has it gone? Maybe that's why. Oh, is it? I don't know where it's getting that value from. Right, so it's inline, doing it inline, isn't it? Yeah, okay. So somewhere in here, let's find the delta bit. Up, 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 up. Here it is. So the delta, position Y. Oh, there it is, control delta. So that's still low, that's fine. So, where is it doing this? It's not in that bit, preview mouse move. Maybe that wasn't the problem, maybe it was the other one. Oh, I don't know. Right, so apparently it's there. So I've tried this already. Let's try it now, and I'll just move it so many clicks, see if there's any difference. So first we'll it's not the thing, so I'll stop, turn off the send. I will scroll the mouse up one, so we've got 10, 20, 30, back down. Now, is it a drag? Let me try dragging. It's just jumping 10 at a time still, because we haven't modified it, so let's change that. Yeah, we can look at the output to see what it's, if it's changing. Right, let's mouse wheel. So it's still doing the same thing. 10 at a time. What about dragging? Yeah, it's still doing 10 at a time. So there's something in here that'll make no blindest bit of difference. So just turn that down a minute. So I don't think it's using this at all. Right, maybe we've got I've got my stuff mixed up. Ah, that's why. Look at that. No, that's the AF gain. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Then I'm on this one. RF gain. So now we're using the right one. Let's go to it. So mouse wheel. Go to the definition. And that's the one. So if I do undo, yeah, that's the one we've just been affecting. So this is not actually changing. So we're setting the delta to that. That is the most craziest thing I've ever seen. Unless it's doing it again in here. Maybe it's ignoring that. Let's have a look in here. Right, it's probably doing it in here, isn't it? Send the cat command. So current math minimum, math max. That make sure it's 0 to 255. Proposed value. Ah, step. Here it is. Step. So step, here it is. So it doesn't matter what the other one's doing. The actual. So they are jumping. Yeah, so right. So I need to alter it here. Right, so if I just remove that one and that one, because both the scroll wheel and the dragging uses this apply input 3. Okay, so that will give us a better, smoother RF gain, so it won't go crazily out of spec. So that is the volume, then the RF gain. That's better. That's it. Look at that. You need finer control. Audio, you don't need the finer control, but the RF gain you do. Let's try dragging as well. Yeah, I've got better control now. Look. Now, for some reason with the audio, it's better to jump 10. Otherwise, you're forever scrolling. Yeah, maybe we'll have that in a setting. We'll have a parameter section that the user can adjust, so he decides how much scrolling they want to do. Okay, so we've got a working RF gain. Can we mute the RF gain? Well, I'll say mute fully up or fully down, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, that's working. And what about the audio? Yeah, we're finished. So the only thing to do is to put some livery on here now, because the AI who created it from a photo decided to get rid of some of the livery, so we need to put it back again. Right, oh, it's coming up, yeah, so that was it there. So I'll just put a note here. Do this to change the step. There we go. Right, okay. Right, so I can now get rid of there we go. Didn't I have some, where have I put it? Down the bottom. Yeah, so I can now get rid of this stuff we saved, because we don't need to save it any longer. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Now we can make this code better at some point. Not today. So we've sorted that out. Alright, so I'm going to just do a git push here. So we've got AF and RF gain controls working. Okay. Push that up to GitHub. Right, so that's that part of the thumbnail done. Get the AF RF gain. Right, so and swap VFOs working. So now we're going to do swapping the VFOs. Okay, right. Swap the VFOs. Right, let's do that then. So the swapping of the VFOs is done in here, memory slots, because we've created a memory slot. We've got memory. It's like a memory bank, but the first two slots are VFO-A and VFO-B, and the reason it's in there is so we can stream it out to a file if we want to save it along with the memory slots. So it'll save the rig state as well, wherever you've left it. Save it back out. So swap the VFOs. Let's see what works and what doesn't. It's a work in progress. This is right. We don't need. Oh, I was going to put some livery on, wasn't I? Well, we'll leave that for a bit. Maybe data. So swapping the VFOs, go to A to B. So it's doing something, but not right. Let's turn off the sends. So it's swapping USB and AM back and forth. It's changing the VFO-B and A round. Frequency's not going with it yet, so we need to sort that out. Let's put send back on. What happens if we swap that? Nothing. So we're almost there, we're just not swapping the frequencies. Right. Okay, let's give that a go then. Right, so we go down the list and it's so the VFOs are being swapped. Now the frequency, it's getting the VFO-A frequency out of the dictionary or the memory slot. It's setting the same one. Oh no, it's got an independent one for the received frequency and it's setting. So it's fetching it out and making it equal that. Then we're doing, what are we doing? Changing the mode. Yeah, that seems to be working, but what we're not doing is we're switching A and B. That's the command to switch A, B. But I think there's a swap command that's actually switching to A to B. So we've done it, but maybe you can't toggle it back again. We're issuing the same command. So we really need the swap command, and there's a separate command for that. Anyway, I need to have a sip break. Right, so we're going to do find the new command. So now we could do A to B and B to A and do a manual swap. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we need to keep track on which one we're doing first. Yeah, so we've got A and B and B and A in the cat control library. Should have already in there. B to A and yeah, A to B, it's already in there. That's fine. So it's a matter of tracking this to see what state we're in. So first time we go in, we need to do an A to B. So we need to track the state of this, because it does say AB. And on the real radio, if I press AB, it swaps from one to the other and just keeps going. It's a toggle. So, but the AB command just puts from A to B, and if you've already done A to B, well, it shouldn't respond in the software, so you need to toggle it. So we need to keep a state of a variable. So we need a little variable up the top here somewhere. Call it I'll just call it needs to be private, this one. It can be a bool. Swap state. VFO swap state. I'll make it these bools are sometimes difficult. So let's tell you what we'll do. VFO-A doing is active. Is VFO-A is, I don't know, active. It's not really active, is it? You've got to get the terminology right. If you're doing diagnostics, you won't be able to understand it. So VFO-A is active. No, that would suggest something else. So yeah, that's no good. So we need to say we've swapped to VFO-A. Okay, so we're going to go swapped to VFO-A. True or false? Swapped, if swapped to VFO-A, yeah, that'll do. But we're going to use it to, we might be swapped to VFO-B, so that's no good. Right, let's work this out. Right, okay, we'll go with what the command does. So we'll do is VFO, yeah, is VFO, we'll just track one of them, swapped to, is VFO-A-B. Right, I'll just do that. Is VFO_AB. That'll do. Right, so if it's AB, which is normal swap from A to B, I don't know. But we'll just go with that. It's only a switch to toggle it. A lot of this stuff is a problem trying to think of something that makes sense. So we don't need to do anything there, we just need to issue a different command. So we go if is VFO-A-B, then we'll do that one, else we will do this one, BA. Okay, so if we're AB, oh, we've got a, yeah, that's a problem. We need some stuff here. Need to add more than one instruction in there. So okay, so if it's AB, we want to swap to actually BA and set this to false. Andy, how you doing? It's not too hot today here. It was earlier in a factory I was in, but the sun must be some clouds stopping it from blazing through today. I guess it's blazing through where you are. We've got a few regulars on today and a few new ones, Andy. Not all AM radio, I don't think, but doesn't matter. Maybe they will be one day. To switch A and B, right? How you doing? You had a good day? I wish I was down the coast, mate. So if VFO-A-B false, so we need to make this true. Alright, so we just need to toggle it. Actually, I used to have a different toggle. Yeah, you can toggle it. So yeah, you don't have to do that. So you can just do is VFO-AB. So you can say if VFO, if it is VFO-AB, then you can say VFO-AB is not VFO-AB. And then if it's going to be if not VFO-AB, then is VF. I don't know what's better. Probably better to write it, at least you know for sure. If not VFO. Oh, so why is that not letting me do that? I spelt something wrong. Oh, the left hand side must be a variable. Right, I got you. Okay, so you can swap it. VFO-AB is not the. Yeah, I think we'll scrap that idea. I think we'll set it. I'm sure I've used it before like that. You can set a variable just to swap it, I think. Let's just do it the way we can read it. So if we're that, we'll make it false and ish. So we go from B to A. And if it's true, we go from. Got the same one. If it's true, we're going to go to A to B. Okay, that should do it. Right, that should do it. Right, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get it to swap back and forth. I've not done this. I've not done a B to A. I've done an A to B. I've not done a. Yeah. So we go. Click it once. So something happened. Oh, they're both the same. Click it again. Okay. So we're doing. I don't know what. Yeah, they're flipping. The frequency's not changing because I don't think we're doing the frequency. So what we could do with is actually, instead of doing this up here, so all this could be done in the same routine, I would have thought. So if the rig state, so I'm doing something weird here because we're swapping VFOs back and forward into the memory slots, ready for writing out for us to close the program and just save it. So we're managing to swap those two, but that needs actually to track. Yeah, this needs to move down now into this here. Because at the minute we're doing it separately, it's a recipe for a bug if you do it separately. But the problem is that the way it's done, it's quite complicated. Whether I could simplify it, because I've got a main and a sub. The sub is VFO-B, and the main is VFO-A. But then, if the current occupier of main rig state is VFO-B, then the main one contains VFO-B. Right, it's very complicated. I'll tell you what, if it's very complicated, we'll give it to an AI and let its massive brain work it out. I'll just say to it, can you sort this shit out? Right, I have a new one for you. That's hit me. What's the new code or logic problem we're tackling today? The Chaos of the Mind edition. I'm not going to tell it anything, I'm just going to paste it and it'll tell me what's wrong with it. I see what's happening here. This looks like the VFO variable frequency oscillator swapping logic for an amateur radio control software, likely for a Yaesu FT891, given the BA and AB cat commands. Right now you've got a classic state tracking bug brewing. Yeah, I know. Let's break down exactly what's dangerous about the before we fix it. The problem, your code isn't exactly swapping the states. Look closely at your first state check. Yeah, it's doing something weird because of the memory slot. While this works for memory reference assignments, you aren't updating the underlying memory slot dictionary. That's probably why it's not working then. I thought I was. Because I'm extracting the data from the dictionary, but I'm not writing it back. You're right, I've just realised, yeah. More importantly, your UI updates below this block check again, because you changed it inside the first. Yeah, I know, it's a problem. Immediately satisfy the next conditions in weird ways. Yeah, tell me about it. Additionally, using async void for something doing sequential hardware cat commands is risky because the calling thread can't await swap VFOs, potentially causing race conditions if the user spams the swap button. The cleaned up version. Here is a refactored optimized version. It uses a temporary variable swap pattern, safely updates the UI and changes the method to async task so it can be safely awaited. Right, I think this is what Mark was talking about. Okay. Right, so will it work? Key improvement: dictionary optimization uses C# inline out variables, out radio VFO-A. It reads both value up front, completely eliminates those redundant nested if statements. No async void. Change to async task. When you call this from the UI click event, make sure to use private async void swap button click and await swap VFOs. This fixed state leakage. By reading variables to local main new occupier first, we ensure the checking logic doesn't alter state midway through the execution. What specific quirk or bug were you seeking? Right, so that's okay. Will this new code update the dictionary? No, this code does not update the values inside the dictionary itself. It only updates the local variables. If your radio's frequency or mode are changed during the swap, your will still hold the old outdated data. To completely fix it, you need to decide how you want the dictionary to behave. There are two common ways to handle a VFO swap. Option 1, you want to swap the data inside the slots. If your goal is for VFO-A's data to physically move the slot in the dictionary and vice versa, you need to write them back into the dictionary at the end of the state change. Right, okay, so I need to do that. Option 2, dictionary data is fixed. You just need to point to it. If the dictionary data is already managed elsewhere, e.g. a background serial loop constantly fills, no. Data from the radio should not, no. Instead, your UI just needs to look up the correct slot. Your case management needed there. Update the track wherever it's currently main. Right. Dynamically pass. Right. Which one matches? I want to to actually swap the contents of memory slot. So if I want to stream the memory slot dictionary dictionary to a file. That's it, it knows what I'm talking about. If your goal is to save the dictionary to a file later, serialize it, yeah, then you definitely want the actual data inside the dictionary slot to physically trade places. Otherwise, your saved file won't reflect the swap. Here's the updated code. It reads the current values and swaps them and writes them back into the memory slot dictionary so that everything is perfectly tracked. Yeah, okay. Why this is better for streaming, simplified. Right, I'm going to try it. Let's try it, and do we dare just paste it? Yeah, let's just paste it over. Paste, there we go. Right, we're going to give it a try. Okay, is this going to work? Well, I hope it works because it's analysed it, hasn't it? Let's give it a try. I'm getting warm now, Andy. Blooming hell, I'll have to put the fan on. I was cool until you said that about the not too hot. It's gone hot now. Right, here we go. Right, A, B. So we've put A into B, and there it is. Ah, so it's actually. Let me go back again. Alright, so it didn't change it back again. It's doing something, but I've no idea what it's doing. Let's have a look down here. So I click that. BA, AB, BA, AB. Okay, and so I've no idea what is going on. So let's have a look. So it's swapping, get the frequency, it's sending a BA command, sending an AB command. So AB is true, I don't know. So which mode was I in? Did I switch over to, I'm still in a mode where I need to switch that first, then switch it. It's not going back, is it? Oh, it might be, but it's the same value. It's not working, Mr. AI. No, these aren't switching. See what it's done? It's broken. So much for AI, eh? Yeah, it's not switching those things now. Right, let's go and complain. I have a complaint. Now my VFOs don't swap, and more does not swap. I don't know. Searching the web. Make total sense why it broke. In your original code you use a boolean flag to toggle back and forth. When we physically swap the internal variables in the dictionary, change like, but we didn't tell the radio's hardware to actually execute a swap. Oh, an SV command. Instead, the radio was just copying one to the other. Okay. What is the point of that ABBA copying one to the other? I suppose you want to do that. I should read the manual to really find out what ABBA is supposed to do on the button. I don't use it. I mean, I can press it now and it just does nothing. Oh, you know why it does nothing? It's because it does now fail to one of the frequencies. Yeah. So I suppose if you wanted a home in on, if you had two people talking split, you could probably keep pressing it and track what they're saying. Maybe that's what it's for. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. It's like I say, I'm new to it all again. Right. Okay, how long have we been going? What, 2 hours? So we still haven't got this swap working. So how can I make it work? Tell you what, we'll try it with. I know I said I wasn't going to use ChatGPT. Let's just give it to it and say, can you make this work, and see what happens. Unless, because I haven't got another one. So it made a bit of a balls up of it. So here we go. I'm doing what I said I wasn't going to do. If it asks me for money after a couple of goes, can you make this work? The memory slots have to change, have to update. Right, what else? Yeah, is that it? Have to update. I forgot what else we had to do. No idea. Can't remember. Have to update. Something else I meant to say, but I forgot. Here is the corrected, optimized version of the swap VFO. The biggest immediate issue is the original code was the use of async void for synchronous methods, especially those handling hardware like cat commands. You should almost always use async task. Async void makes error handling extremely difficult and can cause unhandled crashes if the cat commands fail. Additionally, I noticed you mentioned that the memory slot dictionary needs to be updated to reflect the new states. If the main rig state and the sub-rig state are changing, those changes must be saved back into your fixed code. So it's kept the original structure, and it's kept that, and it's kept that bit and that bit. Catch, it's done a try catch, and has it put the task away? Yeah, async task. Right, let's try again. Try again. Let's see what is going on now. Oh, I've got to go and get some tea in a bit, supper, dinner, whatever you want to call it. Whew. Tired today. Right, stop it. Right. Here we go. AB. Back again. So AB is swapping. Right, so something not happening. Oh, it's actually reading reading it back from the radio. So yeah, I can see what's happening. It's swapping it. So if I turn the radio off, so it can't answer, and do AB. Right, so we've got AM. So basically, when we do it, we've got to set the mode send the mode to the radio, otherwise it will. Let's just go again. So we're doing it in the variable this time. Yeah, there's something not right because you're doing 2 clicks. The VFO-A VFO-B swaps, but yeah, something not right. This I've got to decide how we're doing this. You've got main and sub, and then we've got VFO-A and B. So I said VFO-A was main and VFO-B was sub. So the minute we're on sub, I'll switch it back again. We're on A, but the mode hasn't changed. We've got the radio off, but the variables aren't changing. No, that's probably tracking the wrong thing. So this is actually a recipe for. I think what we've got to do is not do a real AB and BA, just a software one. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. Or we could just tell it to do it, the swap, the SV thing, like it said. People make these systems weird. They make them very strange. Some radios use master and sub, and some use VFO-A, VFO-B, and they're much the same thing, really. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what's happening. Alright. The mode is only swapping every second click. The reason your mode is only swapping on every second is likely due to AB is interacting with the radio hardware combined with logic disconnected in your dictionary updates. Disconnect. In your code you are swapping the local variables, but you are fetching the initial data from the dictionary. Hard-coded IDs. If you don't swap the actual keys or the values inside, I thought you was doing that for me. I thought it said it was going to update it. Here is the corrected logic. The refactor tracks the swap using your dictionary and completely cleans up the data flow. Right. Okay, I'll try it again. Right, we'll try it again. Try it again. Righty-ho, let's have a go. It'd be nice to get this done. It's a bit of a finicky thing, swapping VFOs. I might have to do it, if this doesn't work, I might have to just do it manually. Right, so, oh, there you go, that's what we're after. Oh, no, A and B is not swapping. So everything's good, but now VFO-A and B don't swap. And this is why I've got it working with the radio off at the minute. Okay, so almost it broke something else though. That fixed the mode, but now the VFO-A and VFO-B don't swap. Ah, that makes total, because we swapped the inside data and the dictionary slots directly. The tracking became redundant and out of sync with what the UI labels were checking. to get both the mode and the VFO labels swapping perfectly on every single click. We just need to toggle that tracking state right after we swap the data. Here is the adjustment to the labels. Okay, give it another go. Third time lucky, or fourth time lucky, or whatever time lucky it is. This is where I normally get just almost fixed it, and then it locks me out because it wants me to pay. Right, let's give it. It's broken something. Right, what's it done? Right, I now have red squiggles. So, just to let you know, I am using framework 4.8. Explain exactly where those red squiggles are coming from. Older C# compiler version, but it doesn't support the inline ternary conditional variable assignment. Here is a fully compatible version. Alright, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So in these days you don't even need a friend, you can just talk to AI. Just say, would you be my friend? And they'll say yes, of course. It's thinking, these humans, they're so horrible. Right, here we go again. So, oh, it works. My God. VFO-A, VFO-A AM, USB. Yeah, that's working. Okay. So, I don't know what's going to happen when I put the radio back on. Let's put the radio on. The radio is active. It's probably not going to do it. I don't know. Let's, because the trouble is this is not being sent. This is VFO-A, which is never broadcast to the radio, and my actual radio's got a different frequency on it because it's never been sent. So I'd expect it to swap AM into there, and then because it's on the USB on the radio, once it reads it, it's going to come back and overwrite the AM. Let's do it. Yeah, it's overwritten it with USB. This will change because it's never been read. You can't read back the mode of VFO-A. There's no way to do it apparently. You have to swap it out. Well, I might be wrong there, but to set it you have to swap it to VFO-A. So these aren't, these are only software switches. So they're not, there's no update from the rig on them. So what I need to do is to get it to swap out, so it will swap it, but now it's, because it's read the frequency back from the radio, it's actually overwritten the other frequency, swapped it onto its own. If I move the one and swap it back, you can see it changing until it reads the radio and overwrites it. So what you've got to do when you swap it, you've got to write the value. Yeah, so you have to do a trick. You have to, when you initialize it, you have to swap VFO-B and A. So it's not actually doing anything on the screen. So go like that, and we go like that. So then you have to turn this one, and then go back again. So let's just put something into, let's set this one, I don't know, put it somewhere like 200 on purpose, so we're on 200. Right, now we swap, that should go into there. It is in there, but it's not on the radio, because swapping will not write the frequency to it. So what we need to do when we swap, we need to write. So if we're on, yeah, we've got to do some handling here. So if I tell you what to do, let's ask it some more questions. So that works, so we can keep that in there. So that worked. Now I need to issue a cat command to write or send the mode and frequency to the radio as it is being swapped. I have working set free, hang on, working FA and MD cat commands, so you can substitute those for tokens. I will replace them after. Okay, please put the tokens in the right place, in their correct places. Right, awesome. Glad to hear the UI and local states are synced up perfectly. To update the radio hard during the swap, we need to send a new mode and frequency for both VFOs right at around the time we send the swap track. Yeah, since VFO swaps happen rapidly, it is safest to send these data updates right after the radio switches its active VFO orientation. Ensure the rig assigns the incoming values to the correct memory registers. Here is the update method with the FA placed precisely where they need to be. Okay. Oh, for sub. Oh, for sub. Right, okay. So I think there's a command. Let's have a look at the cat command for. I think you can set VFO-A B. Oh, so I want. Which command is it? Can't remember which one it is now. So, oh, FA, yeah, FA. Let's get to FA. FA, where are you? The FA cup. Here it is, FAB. Frequency VFO-B, so set the frequency of B and A. So that's easy to do. Now, there's no such thing as setting the mode of A and B. So you can't set mode of A and B. No. So, right, so it's talking about, right, hang on. So, pass main rig state data to your cat command token. FA token for main sub. Right. I don't know if this will actually work. See, what I need to do is swap them back again to set the... You have to do a trick. You have to set the one way, then you swap it the other. So it's put mode down there for sub. I can't access mode for sub. Cannot see, mode does not have ability to set sub. FA FB does the frequency. I must drive this AI crazy because it cures one thing, then I put it under stress just to cure it, to try and cure something else. It'd probably say, look, one thing at a time, like, come back after. Yeah, it keeps on going until it runs out of messages. And once you pay money, which some people would do, I suppose, if they thought 20 quid, oh, I'll give you 20 quid to solve that, but not me. See, your radio doesn't have an explicit command to change the sub-receiver frequency. No, that's not what I said. FA only sets the frequency of the currently handles the mode because this is your standard way to update both. The cat is to use a sandwich technique. A sandwich technique. Jesus. You are currently on the main VFO. You send FA and MD to update it. You flip to the sub VFO using ABBA command. Now that the sub VFO is temporarily the main, you send FA and MD again to update its frequency and mode. Optional, if you need to return to the original VFO, you flip it one more time. Here is the updated cat hardware execute blocks with the tokens placed in the exact sandwich sequence. Right, I have no clue what it just said. Let's just copy it. Let's try it. No pun intended, it's in the try catch block. Right, so what we need to do now is issue a command. So we need to replace these FA for main. Okay, it's going to swap them, so we'll just use FA. So we need the commands now. Right, so we can use the waterfall sweep for the set frequency. Okay. Send a cat command async FA new object. Nothing in it. So what we need to do is set it. Oh, that's read meter. FA objects. So what does that sweep do? It doesn't. Oh, it does change the FA. Oh, there it is. There's the data. So that's what we want. Why has that got 5 in it instead of... Should have... Maybe I've set it to 5. That should have outgoing data loop. So maybe I shrank it down. It does work though. Right, so we want the FA command here. Doesn't know what frequency is, so we're going to have to fetch that out. Main rig state, so we want main rig. Okay, so main rig state. Main rig state RX. Main RX. Right, so where is it? Oh, VFO-A frequency. Send the F. Update the current main VFO swapping main rig data here. And we want 1 for the mode. So far we haven't changed mode. We've done it on a button. So the button for mode is USB. So go like that and go down to this mouse event. So what is it actually doing? Oh, bringing up. It's bringing up the mode control. Oh, mode change. Here it is. Here's the mode. So I need to copy that over to here, to the memory slot. So we want to put mode in there next. Right, so what have we got? We need main window in there, and we need main window in there. Okay, and we could do with that to be over here, so it does the proper loop delay. And we're going to change the mode to, right, so it's main frequency. Will it do this? Current, so where's the mode? Where is mode? Current band. Have we not got an operating mode? They called it operating mode. Okay, so we've got operating mode. Now what is the value? It's a radio state. I think it's probably, we don't need to do all this. Let's try it without. Okay, so let's have a look at the cat command for mode. Right, mode, cat command should be trying to pick up a radio mode. So it's a radio mode. Right, it's a radio mode. What did I say it was? A radio mode, yeah, that's it. Okay, maybe that'll work, so we'll get rid of these two. Just put that on it so we don't get it wrong. So we then want to do the same down here, down at this point. for the sub. So we want to go F8 for the sub, so we need to change that to sub rig state and sub. I don't know if it'll work. It'd be nice if it would. Okay, let's give it a go. Let's try, see what the hell is going on. Right, okay, so the radio is on. We've got two separate, we've got the same frequencies actually. Let's give it, yeah, what's in the on the radio is not what I've got on my sub, but it will be once. Right, so we're on 14240. We've got USB and FM. I'm going to swap it now. I heard a click and then it immediately read it back again. So turn the send off. We'll have a look what's going on here. So we've got a question mark then. It didn't know what I'd sent it. So there's a malformed something. So the outgoing was malformed. Oh, yeah, I said mode 0. Yeah, mode 00. That's not going to work. Oh, yeah, it would. Mode 0 is a mode. Ah, it's just come up 0. Not FM or AM is not 0, so it didn't like the mode command, so it would probably need to be cast. So it needed to be cast into something. Right, let's get the mode command back again. Cast it into something else. Right, so we'll keep that. We'll just see if we can't cast it. To a string. Okay, so I must be using a different. They've got 3 overloads for the cat command. It must be sending the string value. Oh no, it's an int. Let's convert it to a string then. Yeah, I don't know. What? Okay, so we'll take that one out. So we're leaving the cast and the conversion in there. Might not like it. It needs to be an int, and we had an operating. What is that one? A radio state operating mode. Right, okay. I don't know. Let's try it. Well, I shall try it. It'll either work or it won't. Okay, let's just take that out of there. Change that to sub. Okay. Okay, so a lot of work to get a little piece of thing working, but it's got to be done, isn't it? Right, so radio's on. We've got 2 separate frequencies showing. Press that button. And it's gone straight. It is actually changing AM and FM. Hang on. So AM. So the mode's working now. Well, that's not changing. Why is that then? Oh, it is changing. Hang on. Right, we're on VFO-B. If I change this to FM, then swap. I'll turn the radio off a minute. Turn it off so it doesn't answer cat command, or I could have just stopped it talking. So it's working there, but it's picking up. Switch the radio back on. Turn off the send. Yeah, it'll still give the command out, but it's stopping sending all the other stuff. So it is actually doing it now, isn't it? Yeah, it's doing it because I've not. When I turn the send off, there's a send loop that's asking for the frequency. So probably all we need to do is turn the send loop off as we do it. So that could be working. Right, to be sure, with the send loop off, I'll change the frequency. It's not updating the screen, so I have to turn that on. So, tell you what, let's just set 1 to 7 megahertz. Alright, I'll set it to 150. Okay, we'll set AM to, let's give it something else, let's say FM. Okay, so then we've got that one there and that. Now if I swap it now, I should get that frequency and AM going into there. Right, so let's swap it. Now, now it's come back. USB, and oh, because I left the send on. Right, I messed it up. Okay. Oh, disconnected. So OBS just disconnected and reconnected. So. Sorry about the glitch. That's this new router. The old router never did it. I think the router thinks there's something going wrong because there's a continuous stream going out, and it decides to disconnect and reconnect and see if this is valid. So that's what happens if you get a new router. Maybe the old one never did that. This has done it about the same time in the stream now. Might be a setting we can change in the router. Right, so we've got that set to there. Now I'm gonna swap this over. Right, I've swapped it on the screen, A and B. So we've got lower sideband on the one, upper AM on the other. So this is not reflecting it. Oh, it just says USB instead of upper. Oh, it should have been saying lower sideband now. So that's something not quite right. So I'll swap it. Stop the mode. Stop the sending. So it won't request from the main loop the frequency, but I can set it and it will bring one back. So AM, actually we're out of sync now. That's funny. because that's showing 7150, but I'm on AM and I'm on 14274. So I swap it again. That's what I'm on now. So it's showing the wrong thing. So the swap is the wrong way around. Yeah, so the swap, it's out of sync. Right, so we're almost there, but I'll tell you. So, hang on, I'll give it the updated code because it hasn't got the updated code. Right, so here is the updated code that mostly works, but the rig frequency and mode is opposite, is the wrong way around. Right, there's the code. Classic cat swap matrix headache. The data fields invert because of when the variables are read related to the physical swap command. So maybe we don't need to swap at all, we just need to swap and program it. Right at the beginning of the method, you are swapping the data in your memory slot dictionary. That means immediately holds the incoming new state. However, step A runs before the radio has actually flipped its hardware alignment. Audio, that's my audio gone. Holds the incoming new state. However, step A. Yeah, sorry, the audio for the radio is kicking in. Yeah, problem. Sorry, mate. However, step A runs before radio has actually flipped its hardware alignment, so when you send main rig state step in A, you are actually pushing the new main settings to what the radio still thinks is the old context. To fix this, you need to swap the data assignment in your cat commands so that they align with the physical radio it looks at exact second. Change step 9 to look like this. Okay, I'll try anything once. Just step. So this one here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere, maybe. I was just thinking, do we have to use that command? We can just swap the A and B frequency. But it will have different settings other than A and B mode. Right, so I'll turn the send off a minute. I'll swap them. Right, so we've got turn it. There we go. So I've got a bit of hiss here now, sorry. Right. Actually, is that working? It is actually working, but it's not showing. Yeah, it's showing the value in the memory, not the rig, because I've turned it off. Now it's showing it. So if I do an A-B now, it's flicked straight back again. it is actually swapping, but there was a weird... they're both equal now, so I think I need to just stop it sending the switch command. We're basically sending it what it needs, but now there is more to it though. You could have all the other settings switched. Yeah, I'm not sure. So, right, I don't know what's going on now. Let's just give it a go. Let's change that. Change that to 2 meters. Right, so I'll leave it all running. I'll click it. So that is actually reflecting what's on my screen. Switch back. No, then it makes both the same. So, yeah, because it's actually reading back this one. So, I think I know what it needs to do. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? So what I need to do is stop the read and then switch. So this command here, send on off, I need just to find out, switch it manually. Stop outgoing data. Oh, that's all we got to do. Right, okay. That's a toggle, so I just need to start and stop the loop. Okay, so we can do that. I think I used to do this anyway. So we're going to switch it off. So we'll go in here and we'll switch it off. So main window, switch it off and switch it back on after everything's been set. Start the outgoing loop. But that, yeah, so okay, let's give it a go. Does that actually update the UI as well? Yeah, does it for you. Okay. Yeah, because the sweep does that as well, the waterfall sweep. So let's see what happens now. Hopefully this is it, and then I can get off this hard seat. My spine is starting to have pain in it now. Bottom of my spine. Monkey's tailbone, whatever they call it. Right, here we go. So we're going to go swap. And so you wouldn't see it go off, but it is it? Let's just see if it's swapping. So it should be saying lower sideband, but it's saying upper sideband, so it's not quite reading the right value. I can sort that out though. I had the same problem last time. So the frequency's right, and we're on VFO-A. VFO-B is lower sideband, it's saying, and 7148600. No, they're both the same. Switch again. That's 200. So that's 200, but that's, oh, they're the wrong way round, you know. Actually, that's the right way round, but this one is that 900 still. So and it's not, oh, it's changing to AM now. Yeah, so it's okay, but it's not doing the double switching. I know what it's doing now. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not doing the double switching. Right, 'cause it's flipping doing the one. So I'd rather it swapped A and B. So yeah, it's not actually doing the switching. That thing it said do didn't work, so we're swapping here and then we're doing it back again. Oh, it's moved main frequency and that, I don't know. Right, it's sort of working, but yeah. Right, it's sort of working. So what I need to do is do a double swap. Yeah, I need to yeah, because the way it works, you can't write to VFO-B. You can write the frequency, but we're not doing that. We're only writing to A, so we need to swap the radio frequency and then write it, then swap it back. So yeah, and then it's doing the swap before it's happening. So we probably need this one. Yeah, we probably need to do this at the top. We need to swap it once. Yeah, in order to write the sub frequency, we need to swap it. We haven't actually swapped it, so we need to swap it. Actually, yeah, we need to swap it here. So we're going to swap it from B to A. Yeah. Then we're going to write the sub frequency and mode. And once we've swapped it from B to A, we're going to swap it back to A to B. Then we're going to write so we don't need this toggle thing, we can just do it but it depends on which way around. So what we've done, we've swapped it to start with. We've written, because we can't write to the mode to the VFO-B, so we've temporarily swapped it from VFO-B to A so we could write to it, and we're writing in the sub frequency. Then we're switching back to A to B, and then we've got to write in this frequency. So then in that case probably just need to move this down in here. Yeah, so yeah, but we'd always have to do that. Oh no, because yeah. Right, let's try and do something else. So what we're going to do, in order to get, if we're in AB, but we always need to do this no matter what we're doing. Now, if we're doing B to A, we're swapping it. Don't know. Probably doing the wrong thing here, but surely if you're swapping it, you're swapping it. It's a bit awkward. Right, what time? It's just over 3 hours. Well, just a little bit more. So we need to swap from B to A to B, so we need to go B to A so we can work on it. Once we're in B to A, we can set the frequency, set the mode for the sub frequency, but we don't know that's what we want to do yet, do we? So we need to move all this right, so we need to move all this into something here. Right, so I need to put this into here. Right, so we're gonna swap. Yeah, so if we're, hang on, it might be the wrong one. If A to B is false, so A to B is false, then we're doing B to A. Then we're going set the frequency, set the mode, and we're switching back. Hang on, we're saying we want, yeah, we're switching F and mode into BA. Then we're switching it back. Yeah, so we can then do what? Oh, we're switching it back there. So we don't need this one. Just switch it all the way back again. So we switch it back there. But then we need to, actually we could just put the patterns in there. Let's put the patterns in there. So once we've switched it back, we can then write the main rig mode into there. Yeah, so first we switch it out to write it in. So we don't need this down here. Actually, hang on, we'll have that bit in there, and this bit we don't need. Right, so what we're going to do now is, once that's the complete thing switched, and we're leaving it there, so then we need to do the whole thing over again to switch it back, I think. Right, so to switch it back, if AB is true, we don't need to switch from, we need to, oh, so if AB is true, we need to switch it to, yeah, so we can write A first, then we're gonna switch, right, so yeah, we toggle it. So hang on. if it's not true, then we make it true. So if it's not true, is VFO-A B. We swap it. If it's not true, we just need to do the opposite here, don't we? Yeah. But we always need to swap what's it up. So yeah, we just need to keep the same pattern, but swap these two round. That's it. So this will need to be main and main, and this one will have to be sub and sub. Okay, so no idea if this will work or not. Right, let's give it a go. So we're switching it and we're setting the main, yeah. Okay, but aren't we doing the same? Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Let's just give it a go. give it a go. It defies a bit of logic. Well, don't know. Right, so we're on. We're dreaming away. Let's switch it. Right, so I've got 145/100 in the bottom. Now I've got 145/800 at the top. That's right. But I've got 144/400 on mine. And I've got AM, so we need to go again maybe. Right, it's just put the both in. Yeah, they're both the same. AM, and I've got LSB. It should be LSB there. So that worked. What about if we go again? No, it's put. Oh, it has actually. It's put AM into there. Yeah, that's actually right now. But it's not reflecting this one. So that label's not being changed. Let's turn the send off, see what happens. Right, okay. So it's got AM into there. Oh, I didn't actually switch it off, did I? Clicked the wrong one. I can't actually tell what's going on, so let's just change the band on one of them. Okay. Oh, because it turns it on. If I switch it off, it turns it back on when I do this. So I might as well not turn it off. I have no clue what's happening now. Right, let's start again. So if I just switch it now, so potentially that should switch up there, unless I'm never loading it up. No, I don't think I'm loading it up. Yeah, so the initial state is set at the top here. Right, initialize the VF. Here it is. So that should be the initial state. A and B. A and B. I don't know. I think it's just annoying, really. Yeah, it's too difficult to track. So I'll tell you what. If that's the case, we'll just have to do it a different way. Do it a different way. Yeah, a different way. So that didn't do what we wanted. What's changing? So we swap from A to B. So that's, I don't really know what's going on there. Right, so there was no improvement there, so we'll just swap that back, get it back to a state where it was doing the basics. Okay, so for now we could probably just not switch the radio at all. I would just send the, so we're switching the radio here. We're programming, oh, this needs to toggle state, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, so we'll leave it there like that. Let's see what it does. If it functions partially, we'll have to work on this again another time. if it does something. Let's have a look. AM and USB. Yeah, it's actually swapping it. This is not the right. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. This is not correct. So that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. But this is not correct. So it's putting it into there, but it's not writing it out to. Yeah, so when I'm swapping the AB, so yeah, obviously not writing out to. Just wondering if I need to do the same again here. Right, so we're going here, we're swapping it, we're writing in the sub into there, and then we're swapping it back, and then we're writing out the main into there. Oh, so we're swapping it here. So we probably don't need. Yeah, so maybe we don't need this extra swap command. Just leave it up to these here. So we've got the one to swap it out. I have no clue. Let's give it one more go. Right, so click once. Right, that's AM and that's right, and this is USB and that's right. Actually, those are reflecting what I've got on the screen. Try again. I've now got, no, it's no longer looking at the screen. So the top's right, the USB, and I've got AM and the wrong frequency, they're wrong. So it's not right into the radio, but right into the software, the variable. And that is AM. That's right. And that's right. So it's right on the second go. Okay, so that tells me we're sort of there, but we need to swap back again. So these commands here, maybe we don't need them. Right. Tell you what, let's take that out of there. And that out of there, and let's just see how we go without those two, just the one. Maybe, you never know. I don't know. Let's give. So it's not actually doing anything. This variable's not doing anything. So we'll need at least one in there to do something. So we swap now. Okay, so it's put that up there. Because we're in AM, it's offset the frequency slightly. That's right, and that's right, and that's right. So switch again. USB, yeah. AM, yeah, and go again. VFO-B, A. USB, yeah. Okay. Ah, that's wrong. I'm on 1715 700. I'm on. So it's written that wrong. Yeah, so it's not actually writing. That's 149 300. I'm on 148 600. But the AM's right. There's a glitch here. It's using the wrong value. That's my fault. I'll have to change that. That's a separate part of the code. Right, so go again. Let's put that one into there. Yeah, that's showing the right thing. AM. So that's that's still wrong there. I think it whatever mode you're in. Yeah. just constantly changing, isn't it? Is it? Are these values changing? They are. So it's a lot depends on the mode. I don't know. Right. I suppose I'll tell you what I ought to do. I don't know. Right, I think we need to put one of these back. Let's just put one back, see what happens. Right, it's time to pack it up in a bit. It's 10 o'clock. Right. Okay. It's just changing the frequency, isn't it? Something to do with the AM, I think. So if I swap it like that, change AM to SSB. SSB, so they're both SSB. And we've got the same frequency in both, but not. Let's swap. So I've got AM back again now. So it's not writing the data. Always AM comes back. Right, I'm gonna have to come back to that one another day. Yeah, so let's just see what we did. Let's just have an overview of what we did. So RF gain, we can mute the audio, turn it up, turn it down. We can mute the RF. Oh, let's put two values in the same. You can scroll and you can do that. There's a problem if you don't have a value at the start. What it needs to do is it needs to read the RF and the volume. I need to include that as a first read. Yeah, so it's a weird one. Anyway, I think we're going to leave it at that for today. It's a difficult subject to clear up. So, yeah, it's a weird one. Anyway, let's call it a day. I'll just put this up to paste the changes, even though it's just not good. So what have we done? I don't know. So swap A, B, not working still correctly. So I need to get a moment of clarity to be able to sort that one out. Okay, let's close that down. Right, anyway, 73. Okay, I'll catch you all later on. Bye for now, and ta-ra. See ya.
Just find the right place in the program, make the appropriate change, and we'll run the whole thing again.
Speech is still very complicated. Music is simpler.
Is that a question?
Yes.
The question is futile.
My interpretation of the data leaves little room for error. The art of leadership is delegation.
That information is not available. This constitutes all available data.
You know what they say. No good deed goes unpunished.